Hello you wonderful humans, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another installment of Re-Building Windenburg, where we are finally on building some community lots. Now this one in particular is called the Old Dock. Now the Old Dock is a converted warehouse or dock house. I haven't really gone too much into this. And in my head, they used to fix old canal boats and store wine and ale and stuff for the actual town of Windenburg. And I wanted to make something contemporary. You know how much I love mixing old and new architectures together. So I wanted to have this build in particular. I haven't even said what it is. This is a wine bar. This is the Old Dock is a wine bar. And I wanted to make use of an old building. So I wanted the warehouse to kind of be there. Ignore all what I'm doing now. I go and start again. I just wanted to show you that you can start something and completely hate it and then go back and rejig it and think, oh, actually, this is what I like. I actually started that first bit of build on stream and I just wasn't feeling it. I built quite a bit of it on stream. And then I got off of stream, looked at it with fresh eyes, and I was just like, yeah, that's not for me. So we decided to do it again. And what I did is built most of this off of stream. And yeah, it's really cool. I will go into a bit more of the story of the warehouse at the end of the video in the video tour. This is what I'm going to be doing for my community lots. I'll go and show you the building and tell you a little bit about it and stuff towards the end in the actual video tour. So keep an eye out for that. Now this build was in fact inspired by a real life build. The real life build is called the 192 building in Sheffield. I think it's in Sheffield on Shoreham Street. And what it is, theirs is actually a bar and lounge as well. So I wanted to kind of incorporate my own sense of style into this build and make it look like this black, my favorite kind of modern looking building is just a big black box. And I know a lot of you realize this by now because I have had people go, oh, another big black box, how fascinating. I'm just like, hey, it's my style to build in. It's how I like to build. And I really enjoy building this way. And I just think when it's your aesthetic with something, don't be afraid to kind of repeat yourself onto that aesthetic. I think you can then tell people's builds by the styles that they're in and how different they actually look to each other just by how... yeah, what the style is like, what the aesthetic is like. And I think looking at this build, you can kind of tell it is one of my builds. And I really, really love building that way. I really do. And I had so much fun building this lot. This whole area here where I've knocked down two of the lots that were here and they're completely empty lots. So I will be building two other things on this lot as well. And they will be in the style. So what they will be is older buildings, but with a modern influence put onto them. And I'm going to build them in different styles and different colors and stuff. So keep an eye out for it. I think you guys are going to really enjoy. I think you guys are really going to enjoy the community lot aspect of this series. I'm done with the residential now. We still obviously have a few more to do with the island and stuff, but I think we're kind of done with it now for the residential side. So this is where the commercial lots are going to come into play. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely loved building this. It was so much fun. You can see that this is starting to take shape now. This is the whole sort of like, I wanted the older warehouse building to just be kind of a shell on the outside of the modern interior. So you can see that the modern interior sits inside of the build and it doesn't actually touch the walls. And what I do with the area that kind of surrounds the inside where it's not actually inside, I use that as a kind of outside sitting area, and it just looks really cool because I put loads of plants and stuff there. And really romantic lighting and stuff, and it just really comes into play really nicely. I think you guys are going to love it. I hope you do anyway. So let me know what you think in the comments below. You always know how much I love reading your comments because you are just such a nice group of people, positive and lovely. We get the odd idiot that comes into the comments and likes to spread their negativity, but they're usually filtered, deleted and blocked, so we don't have to worry about them. I save you guys from from the assholes, shall we say. Now I was using a mixture of the windows from Get Famous and also Base Game. I just think the big chunky modern windows really suited this build, and they kind of popped it and brought it to life. You can see I put the big glass skylight over the whole build as well, and I actually go down the other side there. Looking at it now, it looks really nice with just the plain roof bit there, but it looks even better with the glass going through that side as well. So stay tuned for that, because you do see I think you see all of the interior. Yeah, I think you see all of the interiors being done. Now this is on 4 floors, 3 of them being above ground, 1 of them being below ground. Now the below ground, which is where I put the stage doors that came with the Get Famous expansion pack, I wanted them to look like this big huge slidey door where they could get these little boats in that get lifted over from the main canal area over there by crane and then fixed up and whatnot. I think what brought this build to life, and I'm going to be using this technique, what I'm doing now with these sort of architectural pieces on the front here, I'm going to be using that on a build that I am starting on Twitch. I'm going to be building a university. I know a lot of you guys really, it's probably one of my most watched videos on YouTube actually, of my eco high school. I'm going to be building a modern contemporary university in The Sims 4 to get ready for when and if the university expansion pack finally does come out. So if you guys are around, this will be up on the Wednesday. So what I will do is be streaming on Twitch at 8 p.m. GMT. So I could be streaming right now and I could be building the university. So you guys are more than welcome to come along and chill out with us and watch what I do with it. Now, in my head, I was going to make the university like a bright red box. So we're going to see, I haven't started building it yet. So we're going to see how we go with that. We're going to see how we go with that. Loads and loads of details went into this build with kind of bringing the build, even though I wanted the kind of juxtaposition between the old and the new, I still wanted to blend the old and new together. And I find by using like organic materials such as plants, etc., you know where I'm going with that, it kind of helps bring in a bit more contemporary into the older build itself, and then the newer build kind of blends in well. That's in my head. I don't know if that's true, if there's any architects that watch my videos. In fact, I do know of a few architects that do watch my videos. So if you architect people, if you guys could let me know if I'm right on that, I'm making that up in my head, I would be most appreciative. I really would. But yeah, this is that little seating area I was on about. So they kind of sit in this sliver between glass and brick wall, but they've got this whole open sky aspect with lots of greenery out there. And at night, it looks so cool. It looks absolutely brilliant. Just by the lighting as well. I only light this area by some soft wall lights and candles and stuff, and it's just very romantic. It's a very romantic lot for your Sims to go and enjoy. Now, this will be on the gallery as well, so when you are watching this, this will be on the gallery, so you're more than welcome to go and download it. And as I've said throughout this whole series, I will be releasing a save file for this whole world. So the whole world of Windenburg will be released in a save file, which is cool. So downstairs inside, I have done like it's like a chill out kind of seating area. So there isn't an actual bar space down here. What I did was use these big high back love seats that I don't tend to use very often because I find them just a little bit, they dominate, if you know what I mean. They kind of dominate the interior, and I do like them. I don't actually mind that it's got this kind of soft Chesterfield pattern on the back, but I always struggle at where to actually use them. So I used them down here, and I was really happy with them. Really happy that they were down here. And this is for where your Sims could go upstairs, grab a drink, and then get out of the noise and come back down to the bit more of a chill out area where they could just sit around, lounge, and have a little chat and whatnot. I'll go over what is on each floor now. So down below, we've got toilets. We've also got an old warehouse bit where all of the wine is stored, and I have also made use of that space by making it into a bit more of like a staff room. So I put like a microwave and all your things your staff would need to keep them happy in the workplace. But yeah, that's that aspect. And then up on the first floor, I've just told you, it's the more chill out area. Up here, it's the kind of main bar, so it's the bigger bar of the lot with lots of seating area. Then it's also got a piano where your Sims can sit and watch someone play the piano. And then on the top floor, There is a smaller bar area up there, but that area does have a dance floor and then a kind of seating area with corners, sofas and stuff where your Sims can kind of congregate and communicate. So yeah, let me know what you think. And my love at the minute for things, I am absolutely loving matte black. I don't know what it is. I just really love matte black at the minute. I was watching a video about graphic design or graphic design trends of 2019 just because I like that sort of shit and it is my thing. I was watching something to do with that and they said that matte black with gloss black is the kind of real trendy thing to do in graphic design at the minute. And I was like, oh, I wonder how I could incorporate that into this build, because in my head in the beginning I wanted to make this look industrial, but then in my head I was like, no, let's try and make it look a little bit more bougie, but still kind of paying respects to the fact that this was an industrial place in itself. So I'm using kind of wooden floors and sort of like steel grate staircases, etc., just to kind of pay a nod to it. But I do want this wine bar in particular to be a bit more of a contemporary bougie kind of feel to it, quite high class, and I love it. The lot trait to this place is why I've made it so the famous Sims all like to come here, and there's always paparazzi and stuff here, etc., etc. But yeah, I like it. And this is the little piano lounge area, so I put like a few nested seats around and use the seats from Get Famous and the tables from Vintage Glamour. I just think they look really cool and they kind of go together really nicely. And I haven't had a chance to use these armchairs yet because they're just not really my style, but I thought that they suit the aesthetic of this wine bar perfectly, so that's why I did that. And again, keeping it very black and very matte. In the beginning I was going to put this big wine poster up there, but I was like, no, that's awful. Let's take that down. I know it's a wine bar, but no. So I went for the actual bar branding itself, and this sign in my head was the actual bar's name, even though it would be a lot of trouble to fit the old dock into there. But yeah, we're going to go with that anyway. I don't know where my head is at sometimes, but you guys seem to enjoy it, so we're going to carry on. We're going to carry on through it. And up into the final floor itself, so you can see that this beautiful light coming through from all of those skylights that kind of wrap around this whole top area of the bar area, and it just looks really cool. And I definitely wanted to add in a little like DJ booth and stuff, just so your Sims have got the option to go and dance their tits off after a few glasses of the old Shiraz. And I don't know, this area up here, I was like, I wanted to make this like a little bit more bougie, so I added in some of the aquariums, and I forget what pack those like nicer aquariums are from, but I just prefer them, so I tend to go for them. I think they were from Dine Out. A lot of the items in Dine Out is used throughout this whole build as well, because I just find they fit into bars and restaurants, obviously, a lot easier. And the stuff I think from that pack itself is amazing, and still one of my favorites. I do a few of these kind of champagne trays as well around the whole build itself, just so your Sims can come and grab a little champagne, one in the entrance, which is what I'm doing now. So they could grab one on their way through. And I use one of the kind of waiter stations or host stations, so your Sims could like get a table and stuff, or they've pre-booked a table, because this is that kind of establishment. Now anyway, this is downstairs into the basement area, so this is where all of the toilets are, and I just wanted to keep this area kind of clean in itself and not too over fussed, so I use a lot of the brick that would have been there naturally, being an old warehouse. And then in this little area over here, which is the storeroom and also the staff room. So it's the staff storeroom. So we'll keep it as that. Yes. Anyway, you're going to hear me rambling on a little bit, telling you a bit more about the story, but we will be going into the video tour towards this end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you next week with my university build, which will be coming to YouTube. Bye, everyone.